We now have official confirmation of these banners, so let's talk about them. We did see them in the livestream preview earlier, and I've talked about them before, but they were revealed during the Masterless Stella Fortuna announcement, so a lot of people may have missed them. We're starting with Lauma and Nahida as the 5 stars, with Kaveh, Kuki, and Barbara as the 4 stars. I've already made an entire video about the 5 stars, so I won't rehash that here. Instead, we'll just talk more about the 4 stars and the weapon banner. And let's just say that I really hope everyone wishing gets their 5 star early or wins their 50/50s, because these 4 stars are not very good. Kaveh can have some usefulness as an on-field dendro applicator and driver for a Nilou Bloom team, but you really want his C1 for the extra healing. Outside of that, he's not very useful. And everyone already gets a copy of Barbara for free, and her constellations aren't that great, so you wouldn't want to see a lot of her. Kuki is the really good character here, and the super useful one, particularly for Hyperbloom teams. Hopefully, if you are wishing, you get a lot of copies of Kuki, ideally getting at least C2, because she's extremely useful for account and has the most value and synergy with the 5 stars among all the characters here. But even if you don't get multiple copies of Kuki Shinobu, she's still very good at C0, it's just that her C2 gives her 100% uptime on her skill instead of a few seconds of downtime. There's really not much to say outside of that. A lot of these characters and their constellations aren't particularly important. Kuki's C2 and C4 are pretty good, but that's really about it. The other characters' constellations don't really matter that much. So if you're wishing, just hope you get a lot of Kuki Shinobus and win your 50/50s, or get the character you're looking for early so you don't have to waste a lot of primos on a banner that doesn't really have a lot of value. Now that we've covered that, let's talk about the weapon banner, because some people might be a lot more curious about how good the banner is, and the short answer is, it's not. It's not very good. While both Nahida and Lauma's signature weapons are technically best in slot choices, they aren't by very much. For example, Lauma's signature weapon isn't much better than the Aetherlight Spindle Loot, which is the free event weapon that costs 0 Primo Gems to get. So since the 5 star weapons are really not that impactful for your account, let's talk about the 4 star weapons. The sacrificial fragments can be good on Lauma and Nahida, but they're just using it for the elemental mastery. They don't really care that the weapon passive allows them to reset their skill cooldown. However, Sucrose really does appreciate that, because she has a longer cooldown on her skill, and she also really likes the extra elemental mastery. But honestly, if you're wishing for Lauma or Nahida, I wouldn't wish on this weapon banner just to get a sacrificial fragments when you could just use the free event weapon on them. Dragon's Bane has some usefulness. It's really good on EM Raiden, who does pair well with Nahida or Lauma for Hyperbloom teams, but you're just using this weapon for the elemental mastery. The passive ability or refinements don't matter for Hyperbloom teams at all. And for the other spear-wielding characters that could use Dragon's Bane, the Favonius Lance is often just a better choice for them, so there's not really a lot of value here either. For the bow, we've got Stringless, which is good on Fischl, and along with Sacrificial Fragments, it's one of the more decent weapons on the banner. And the Sacrificial Greatsword is decently useful on Navia. Its ability to reset the cooldown of the elemental skill makes Navia have a chance to use her skill a 3rd time in a rotation, which is pretty good, and the extra energy recharge can help her get her burst back, which can charge her ammo a little bit more consistently. It also does have pretty high base attack, but outside of using it with Navia, it's really not very useful anywhere else. And finally, we've got the weapon that everyone's been waiting for. Are you looking for a sacrificial sword because you want to refine it for your Xingqiu, and there's a bunch of other sacrificial weapons on this banner? Well, how about we put the flute on the banner instead? To round off this really bad weapon banner, we have one of the least useful swords in the game. The good thing and kind of saving grace about this banner is that whether you're wishing for Nahida or Lauma, both of the signature 5 star weapons work on either character just as EM stat sticks. So even if you don't get the signature 5 star weapon you're looking for, the extra EM from either weapon is nice for both Nahida and Lauma. This is all assuming that you get one of these 5 star signature weapons and not just a standard 5 star weapon, which is also an unfortunate possibility. But honestly, the 4 stars on this weapon banner are just so bad that it makes it not worth wishing on at all. You'd be better served to save your Primo Gems and wish for another character that will be a much bigger difference on your account, rather than trying to chase one of these weapons that will marginally increase your Lauma or Nahida's power. So instead of wishing, you could save your Primo Gems and then wish for another 5-star character in the future that could be much more useful. With how bad these banners are, I'm curious if it changes anyone's wishing plans. Maybe some people who were planning to wish on day 1 are now reconsidering, or maybe they're going to wish anyways and just hope for the best, or maybe they were going to wish on the weapon banners, but not anymore. Let me know down below if this affects your plans at all, because I'm curious about what people are going to do now. I'm still going to wish for Lauma, but I also have a guarantee, so I feel really fortunate because of that, and I also don't plan to wish for her weapons, so I'm planning to use as few Primo Gems as possible. Let me know who you are wishing for, and if you want the blessing of shark luck, feel free to come by on Twitch or YouTube streams and ask me for my shark blessing, because 50% of the time, it works 100% of the time. Stay jawsome everyone, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.